A new dawn rises for women's cricket in India. A glorious sunrise after years of waiting in the shadows. India are crowned world champions for the first time. The women in blue defeated South Africa by 52 runs in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup final in Navi Mumbai. Now it's a triumph that heralds a bright new era. The match started after a 2-hour delay caused by rain in Navi Mumbai. South Africa won the toss and asked India to bat first under the overcast conditions. The women in blue, who had lost to the Proteas in group stage, made a strong start this time. Shefali dispatched the first ball she faced to the boundary, setting the tone for the innings. The 21-year-old was not even a part of the original squad and only came in as an injury replacement. Well, Shefali made most of her opportunity and took the attack to the bowlers, allowing Mandana to settle in. The southpaw also found a rhythm later, but once again to a left-arm spinner on 45. Verma rode her luck and top scored with 87 of 78 balls, giving India a solid platform. However, semi-final star Jemimah Rodriguez and skipper Harmanpreet Kaur departed early. Deepti Sharma held one end with a fighting half-century, while Richa Ghosh provided some late fireworks. But India fell short of the 300 mark, managing just 69 runs in the last 10 overs to finish on 298. South Africa needed a record chase to win the final. They hadn't lost a single match while chasing in the edition. Skipper Laura Woolward and Tanzim Brits gave the Proteas a solid start, adding 50 runs for the opening wicket. But Brits was run out for 23, a moment that shifted the momentum India's way. Woolward then built another half-century stand, which soon loose before Shefali turned the game with her part-time spin. She moved loose and veteran Marizanne Kapp in quick succession, putting India firmly in control. Woolward kept South Africa in the hunt, and when Annery Dirksen launched two huge sixes, the Proteas had hope again. But Deepti Sharma struck back, clean bowling Dirksen for 37, with South Africa still needing 90 runs. Woolward, the leading run scorer of the tournament, went on to register her second consecutive time, but her wicket sealed the result. Amarjot Kaur juggled the catch, held on, and India wrapped up the final. South Africa were all out for 246. And for more on this, now we're joined by our sports correspondent, Vidur Kathuria. Vidur, this is a historic moment. There's joy permeating across the country. And of course, it's a big moment for India. And one name that's emerged out of this chaos is, of course, Shefali Verma. And given that it's a relatively young team, what do you say, how is it going to change the trajectory of sports in India, especially for women, in terms of recognition and attention along with the opportunities?
Well, absolutely, Diksha, you put it best. This is a historic day for India, not just Indian cricket or Indian sport. I think people still are getting to grips with the magnitude of this win. It's still only been about 13 hours since India won the World Cup, and it's united the country like almost never before we've seen in women's sport. And the reason for that is because there were so many heartbreaks. When you look at the trajectory of the women's team before this, they reached the World Cup in 2005, they lost. They reached the World Cup in 2017, lost to England. And finally, the first time India were playing a World Cup final in Mumbai, in India, which is the seat of Indian cricket. And you felt like it was written in the stars. And that's exactly what happened. India finally won the World Cup, and it felt like it was a huge relief and a burden off the cricketers' back, but also one that captured the imagination of the entire country. And the reason for that is that because there are so many remarkable stories that are attached to this triumph. You talk about Harmanpreet Kaur, she had the captain. Now she will be remembered as India's first women's World Cup winning captain. Shefali Verma, as you mentioned, she wasn't part of the original squad, but she came back due to an injury to Pratika Rawal, and then she was player of the match in the final. Deepti Sharma, who was player of the tournament, she was under a massive pressure. And then you can't not mention the coach, Amol Mazumdar, who never played for India and is regarded as the best player never to play for India. And finally, now he'll be remembered as the coach that took India to the World Cup title. So many remarkable stories, and India will certainly be riding high for a long time, Diksha.
Absolutely, Vidur. Thank you so much for summing it up perfectly. That was Vidur, our sports correspondent, joining us on the broadcast.